Peter dreams of becoming a killer, describes all the students at the school. He is a student who is good at studying. Peter is too confident and even looks cool to the women. There was a man who approached Peter who was big. He was a gangster at the school. Peter managed to lure them out. Peter was accused of seducing his girlfriend. Peter Pan was confused about who he meant. The big man was crying angrily. Who knows what he was feeling? The girlfriend he meant was Yejin. Jang Iseol is the best love slave of Honor High School. He just dated Yejin on 22 days. He became a man whose girlfriend was stolen by Peter. The big man immediately landed a punch. Jang Iseol is a man who was able to conquer Mopo district with one blow. But for the first time, one of his blows was avoided by young Peter easily managed to dodge it, and instead hit back with one punch too. Just being hit by the wind, the big man was very scared. But Peter's hand stopped just above the man's head. Just by using his finger, the man was smacked by Peter's hand, which was very fast. His friends were very afraid to see Peter, because their heads had fallen down and their heads had bumps. Suddenly a teacher came and broke up their fight. Then the master asked Peter what your father did. Peter answered that maybe my father was dead. The teacher also apologized to Peter. Then the teacher and Peter left while the teacher was angry. The fat man still wanted to hit Peter, but he was held back by his friends because it seemed he was having a hard time facing Peter. The figure of a mysterious man with a dark face is visible here. The mysterious man was curious about Peter and wanted to find out everything about him. A plan so scary he tried to kill him. A plan that was truly unexpected. Meanwhile, Peter was still with the teacher and was taken out of the area. Peter followed the teacher's orders and followed where he was going. Yejin realizes that Peter is at that school. Is he going to destroy this school? Such a good school might be destroyed by Peter. In a school garden, Yejin and Sungu meet. They both want to have lunch. But here Yejin was surprised. Why are you here? Peter said everyone was after me, so I went here. Peter also asked Yejin, why are you here? Yejin said that she had no appetite. But Peter was surprised because he brought so much food. Yejin was a little offended and blushed. Yejin is actually still confused about why he is at this school. Yejin remembered Peter's promise before, that he would let him live if he thought old Peter was dead. And that is the guarantee of his life, Yejin. Yejin feels like she has kept her promise. But she continues to be followed by young Peter. The woman said, maybe you mean to kill me now. But Peter didn't mean it like that. Because of you, I'm the only one watching over that organization. Do you know how hard my life is right now? Apparently the woman was difficult to talk to. Peter felt he had succeeded in saving the woman. And you had to obey him? But Yejin insisted on bringing him to safety alone at that time. You don't even know what this place is like, this very scary place. You don't even know my real identity. What do you think an outsider can do in a place like this? Sungu wants to be helped by Yejin. Who doesn't know anything in a place like this? Sungu or young Peter wants the woman's cooperation in the future. The woman was surprised that Peter knew her real name at school. It is known that the woman's real name is Liuna. After the conversation was over, Peter suddenly disappeared as the woman walked away from Peter. One day the school held competitions, which were quite entertaining for the students. Don't miss out. Peter immediately follows all the matches. Young Peter, the new student, managed to win the match. The defending champion lost to a Peter, and he cried on the side of the road. In other competitions, Peter managed to win. There is something unique in this match, namely peeling apples. Peter is teased about not being able to use a knife by the other students. With extraordinary calm, Peter will finish this match. And the results are beyond reason. Peter succeeded in making the apple look like a rabbit. Everyone was in awe of him. The final game is here. In all the matches that Peter managed to win, there is a mysterious figure who is always watching him. In another place there is a teacher who wants to be beaten by his students. It turned out that the students didn't want to clean up, and instead wanted to pick a fight with the teacher. The students were not afraid of their teacher at all. These students have usurped the authority of a teacher, but the students insisted on speaking rudely to the teacher. The teacher was immediately hit and fell. The mouth said, "How do you know what is scarier than punishment? Your teaching license will definitely be revoked when I sue you. If you don't want to be fired, don't get involved in my business," said the students. It turns out there was a student who recorded it. Not long after, Peter came with a trash can. Peter saw the teacher, who had fallen after being beaten by the student, and immediately asked about that. The students admitted it and instead told Peter to leave there. But Peter didn't want to go. The students felt they could handle Peter there. Peter was even spat at by one of the students. Peter could still hold back his emotions. They instead landed a blow on Peter. They thought that the blow would hit Peter, but Peter managed to avoid it easily, without spilling his cup of coffee. They continued to throw several punches, but Peter casually avoided them. With very sharp eyes, Peter managed to knock the student down. One of the students was successfully knocked down. Suddenly, there was a student from behind holding a brick. It turned out that the student wanted to hit Peter from behind, but Peter realized and immediately broke the brick with his hand. Suddenly, they were surprised by Peter's abilities. They finally apologized to the teacher and promised not to do it again. They apologized to Peter and immediately left. Peter asked how the teacher was doing. The teacher even blamed Peter for fighting in front of the teacher. Peter found the student's cell phone, which he had left behind. Suddenly, when he wanted to take the cell phone, the teacher instead attacked Peter suddenly from behind. Peter realized that. Peter managed to avoid it. The teacher just smiled seeing Peter dodging his attack. Peter's eyes are really sharp in seeing things. The teacher said that Peter was not an ordinary student. The coffee you were holding didn't spill at all when you were fighting. The teacher is confused. Where did you learn all that? The teacher asked Peter, what is your aim in learning all that? Peter said what he really kept in his heart. Peter wants revenge on the Glory Club, which has robbed him of his life. Peter had lost his home, his family, the people he had gathered together. Peter said that Peter's current state was like a dead person. Peter, or Sun Gu's nickname, was finally offered to enter the volunteer club. It turns out that a mysterious figure was always watching Peter yesterday during the competition. The teacher had been waiting for Peter for a long time. The teacher turns out to be a Killer Club Glory trainer. While walking towards the training room, the teacher said that it is rare for transfer students to be as talented as you, Sun Gu. They opened the entrance to the training ground. And what a surprise Peter was. So this is the Glory Killer training place, namely the volunteer club.